Hi, you know who I am. So, we've had a lot of fun during these last 13 episodes. This is the 14th one. And by the way, a shout out to everybody. Thank you very much for 800 views since we've been online. And I've hardly reached out to anybody. I'm going to start doing that when I finish up one of these scripts. We're going to reach out to a lot of Facebook sites for fans and for writers. But 800 views, we're really happy with that. So I think we've had a lot of fun these 13 episodes, but this is going to be a different type of an episode. I got to talk about some hard truths. So to use the words of the immortal Betty Davis in All About Eve, buckle your seatbelts because this is going to be a bumpy night, okay? And I'm probably going to tell you some things that you don't want to hear. But you got to hear them. There's a wonderful film, you should watch it sometime if you haven't seen it, called Life Raft, 1940s. Hitchcock, lifeboat is the only thing surviving after this passenger ship gets sunk. And, they're in the high seas, and the officer that's on the lifeboat, he starts to have to throw people overboard because there's too many people on the lifeboat and they don't have enough supplies. And one of the people says, "How can you do that?" And he says, "Because it's a 4,000-mile road to Africa and I can't save everybody." And it's the same thing here, okay? I'd like to save all of you. I'd like to have all of you become best-selling authors or screenwriters, whatever. But I can't, okay? So we're probably going to lose a few people after this episode because it's going to be pretty harsh. But here's one of the realities, okay? I read an article a couple weeks ago. I think it was quoted from the Writers Guild of America. Do you know what percentage of screenwriters in America earn their living exclusively by screenwriting? 10%, 5%, 1%, okay? Probably fewer novelists earn their livings by exclusively being a writer. Well, it happens that you're looking at one that has for over 47 years. And boy, I'm not going to tell you that every year has been great, but over the lifetime of my career, I've done really, really well. So I've got some knowledge to give to you. And I'm going to tell you something now that's really, really important. It's tough to take, but I want you to remember it because it's going to save you a lot of heartbreak, okay? The people that are close to you, the people that love you, the people that you're surrounded by, your wife, your husband, your significant other, your partner, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, they care about you, but they don't understand you. They cannot. The woman on the other side of this camera has been with me for 30 years, and she's seen me go through a lot of things. She knows my style of working, and she's been to France with me at conventions. You know how much she understands me? A fingernail, okay? How can she possibly understand me? Okay. She's a president and CEO of a nonprofit. She sits in a beautiful office. She's got staff. She's got associates. She's got mayors that she works with. Imagine if she worked on a project for a year and had all these people working on it, and it became this magnificent, wonderful creation that she had that everybody loves so much. And then someone that she doesn't even know and has never met sends her an email that says, "I'm sorry, but what you've sent to us is no good, and we can't use it." A year's worth of work. Okay, that's hard enough. But it's the tip of the iceberg. When I have a project turned down, and believe me, I get projects turned down, it's not just turning down a project. I've lived with these characters and people for a year. It would be like Kim seeing her best friends have their throats slit right in front of her, decapitated, killed, slaughtered. That's what it's like for me when I have a project that gets turned down. And it's not because I've had anything turned down in the last couple weeks, but you gotta know this, okay? The best you can hope for is that the people that you are with will care, okay? They can't understand. They can understand if you get a cold. They can understand if you get a flu. They can understand if you get an upper respiratory infection because they've had that. So they get it, okay? But what you're going to go through as a writer or a producer or as a director, they can't possibly understand what it's like for you, how heartbreaking it is for you, how wrenching it is for you, how it reaches inside of your chest and rips out your soul. So you better understand that you're a lone wolf, okay? You don't have any beautiful office. You don't have mayors and associates and people that you associate with every single day. Oh, you're out for lunch, you're out doing this, you're having meetings, making things happen. That's not what our lives are. And I'm not complaining. I chose this life. Okay, this is what I wanted. But you're in solitary confinement 6 days a week. You know, there's a wonderful scene in the film The Matrix, and they open in this construct, this all white room, and then he takes Keanu to show him what the real world is after the rise of the machines. And it's a scorched earth that they're in with buildings in shambles. And there's days that it's like that. This is what my office really is. You know, in the last episodes, oh, everything looks nice on Jack's desk. Well, that's not the way that it is. This is how it is. And you better get the fact inside of your head that if you become a writer or a producer or a director, no one is going to understand you. Now I want to talk about something that's a little more pleasurable, and that's how you're going to sell your book. You've worked on it for a year. Maybe you've subscribed to the Writer magazine, which you should. Wonderful magazine, Writer's Digest. You've listened to advice that I've had. You've done your research, you know, about having your starting point, your ending point, 3 points along the way. You've done everything, and boy, you've got this unbelievable manuscript. You've redone it, you've reshaped it, you've molded it, polished it, and edited it, and you've got 380 pages. Now, what are you going to do with it, okay? 60,000 titles published a year, hundreds of thousands of submissions. What are you going to do? First thing you got to do is forget every bit of advice that you ever have heard, okay? Don't believe that editors and agents won't take your phone call. They will. You have to be dogged about it. You have to be General George S. Patton. You have to have a line that's 2 or 3 sentences long. Get them on the phone and be Steven Spielberg. I've got an idea about a shark that attacks a seaport village over and over and over again. Hook them. Hook them. You have to do your research. You have to do your detective work. Find out the editors that are looking for the kind of books that you're writing. It's all on the web. Agents will take your call if you charm the receptionist that you first get on the phone with. Charm them and do your homework ahead of time. Find out where, and this is Jack's tip jar, find out where the edge is. I've got an editor in New York. I'm not going to say the name of the company. I'm not going to say his name. I'm trying to get my latest novel into his hands. I researched for 2 hours, and I found this young man. His favorite films are Rocky, Braveheart, and Jaws, okay? He likes big lumbering dogs in his profile. I've got a German Shepherd in my script, okay? Rocky is my life, okay? So we're like this before I even get him on the phone. I've got an edge. But make those phone calls, have your 1 or 2 paragraph pitch ready, and have your script ready to send out to an agent. Don't take no for an answer, because if you don't, eventually the answer will come back yes. Good luck. Put your battle gear on and walk into the maelstrom.